Alfred in Texas, who's a theist, says Q17 3 through 4. Is that Q is in the letter, or what? What are you talking about when you say Q? I guess that's our first question. Is clarify what I've got here in the screener's notes.
Sure. If I may, can I ask a question real quick before y'all get to it?
Sure.
No.
Politics came up.
Oh,
No.
Okay. Q refers to the versification that's used to refer to the Q source. So that would be Luke 17, 3 to 4. I know you guys know the Bible, so.
Yeah, you should have just said Luke 17, because I don't accept that there necessarily was a Q, and I don't care what the reference is. But what would you like to say about Luke 17?
Well, no, I don't think there necessarily was a Q either. I'm just saying that it's a versification system used so that you can reconstruct
that's
Q would have
fine.
looked
What
like.
do you have to say about Luke?
Yes, what's the point?
It's about forgiveness. And I know I just wanted to make a point about how I know Gnostic Informant called in to your channel a few weeks ago, and that was really something to behold. I don't think he handled himself well. I don't think he's a Christian for what it's worth.
So listen up. Listen up. I don't care what you think about Gnostic Informant or that call. This is not the show where you call in to give your commentary on other calls or whether or not you think someone was a Christian or not, or anything like that. You're a theist calling in. Are you calling in to defend theism or not?
In a way, yes.
Well, in a way, get to it.
Okay. All right. So I know it's been said on this program, like, I know Matt has said something along the lines of, and correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay, Alfred, I'm going to correct you and stop you right off the bat. There's literally nothing that I've ever said that is relevant to your defense of theism right now.
It is relevant.
So
I can show you.
It is not relevant. What I've said is completely. Just listen. Nothing I've ever said is relevant to whether or not you have a way to justify theism. Period. There is no syllogism or evidence-based thing that you're going to present that starts with something I said. So do what you're going to do.
Okay. So you've said that I just always assumed religion would become less and less relevant in a secular society. And, it's not becoming less relevant. And
so,
I think
Alfred, when I tell you that nothing that I've said is going to be relevant to you defending theism, why would you then go back to say that I've said I always assumed religion would become less and less relevant? Whether or not I've assumed religion would become less and less relevant, and whether it is becoming less and less relevant, are completely irrelevant to whether or not Alfred has a defense of theism. This will be your last chance to begin to defend theism where I will pay any attention, and then I'll be moving on. So are you going to do that or not?
I'll do that, sure.
Cool, thank you.
So I'll tell you one of the reasons it's not happening. That's my defense.
I'm sorry, Alfred. I'm sorry, Alfred. I'm not sorry at all. Goodbye. I mean, not for forever, just for me, because I didn't ask you why it's not declining or anything else. I asked you to give a defense for theism, the proposition that there is a God being true. I don't give a shit what you think about the popularity of religion or why it isn't in decline. I've tried to be as clear and as respectful as I can and maintain my zen. I am now done, but I'm happy to listen and chime back in if you ever get around to the subject. And I will let Jim to decide whether or not there's any viable conversation to be had with you prior to that.
Okay. Yeah, because the only thing I hear you attempting to do is to make some sort of argument from popularity that God exists because he's popular. And that's a non-starter. I don't care how popular an idea is, does not necessarily make it true. So do you have anything other than an ad populum argument for God?
Well, it's more of a by their fruits kind of argument. because I know of a guy. He said, when I was young, I saw
So
blokes throwing
can
rocks.
atheists do good things?
Of course.
Okay, so why do I care about the from their fruits argument at all? Because that doesn't buy you anything, right? If atheists can do good things as well as Christians, then Christians doing good things does not have to be inspired by God, right?
I guess so.
Yeah. So what's your next
Well,
best argument? You got one more shot, and then we're going to move on to someone who hopefully has better arguments and thought it through.
no, I have thought it through. It's just I say 5 words and then there's an immediate pounce. I mean, I need some space to breathe.
Okay.
Well,
breathe somewhere else.
That's because we know where you're going, because you're not doing anything anywhere remotely unique.
How could you?
Because I've done
there's
this
only
for
so
20
many arguments
years.
for God. Pardon?
I've done this for 20 years, but what I do know is that we keep asking you a question, and instead of doing the thing that you said you would do, you keep talking about, a guy, or Matt said this, or whatever else, none of which is in any way a possible path to a defense of theism. I no longer believe that you're sincere or credible or competent or that the conversation is valuable. You complain that you only got a few words out, but that's because none of the words that you got out have anything to do with what you're supposed to be doing here.
Yep. And you'll notice that I've named every argument that you've had.
I don't need to read your mind. I don't need to read your mind. I know what I'm doing. You don't.
You know where my point is going.
Yeah, because as soon as you say by the fruits of their work, or whatever the phrase was, we know exactly where you're going. You're saying that Christians do good things, which is why I asked you the question: can atheists do good things? Yes, that shoots your entire line of argument down. Right, your very first statement is wrong. How are you going to build an argument from a wrong statement?
Well, I'd like to let you know. It's just, again, I say a few words and it's like, wait, what about this?
Oh, this guy is not serious. This guy is just going to keep whining about interruption and not answer the question that Jim has asked and not answer the question that I have asked. This is a troll caller at best and undeserving of any of our audience's time.
Yeah. Thanks, Alfred. I would suggest that you go look up all of the arguments for God. There's only about 10, and see what the atheist response is, and then maybe try to come up with a response to the atheist response to those 10.
Yeah, I'm just say the way
thanks. Having a great evening. Talk to you later. Bye.
Yeah. Thanks, Weiner.
Okay. We'll go with...
The way we treat people is terrible. You mean when we ask them, can you do this? And they say yes, and then we say, go ahead, and they continue to refuse to do it over and over again, and then just whine about how they only got a couple words out? I'm sorry. Maybe next time, write down what your argument is so that you have it available to present. But it's not even clear that this person called in to present any sort of defense. They just wanted to talk, and they wanted to talk about how somebody else who called in wasn't a real Christian or anything else. Congratulations. You're not breaking my zen. You just don't get to talk here anymore today. Do better next time. Write down what you're thinking, and then you won't meander, because unlike a debate, this is a show. And when you are not providing conversation that is edifying, that is anything that we can engage on, that would be beneficial to the audience, you get to go away.
Yeah, it would have been really interesting to talk about the Luke quote, but especially with what's going on and totalitarianism and all that kind of good stuff. But unfortunately,
Hey, what's up? I'm glad you enjoyed that clip of people talking to each other. I'm Jimmy, and this is Eric. And well, we'd really love it if you would support us. Where can they support us, Eric? Where would they do that?
I don't know, Jimmy, because I don't have the notes on me right now.
This is too long. The outros have to be short. Patreon.com/call the line.